Bonjour, Léopold de l'agence LDC.News Agency. Je suis aujourd'hui à Lahaina, sur l'île de Maui, où il y a 2 ans, il y a eu des incendies. Apparemment, ce seraient les mêmes incendies qu'il y a eu il y a quelques mois à Los Angeles, en Californie. Je suis actuellement dans un lotissement des maisons préfabriquées qui ont été conçues pour les victimes de l'incendie. Je vais maintenant chercher quelques interviews pour vous. Allons-y.
Aloha, my name is Elijah Pacheco. I was unfortunately a part of and involved with the Lahaina wildfires. Yeah, it pretty much tore us out of, harmony and the peace that we had as we knew it within a, snap of a fingers, it felt. That's a good question. What happened, here we are, staying in an apartment, and to our knowledge, the power went out. This is the evening before, and which was kind of a drag because we just had bought, a full couple $100 worth of groceries for our upcoming weeks, and we had a very tight budget as well because of our living situations and the price of living here. So I just remember being bummed out, wow, our fridge isn't working, my phone's about to die, there's no power, kind of just cut off from what was really happening. So we kind of just we'll rest, we'll just take the downtime, I guess, without the phones and without the electricity, just to kind of relax and stay at home and be couch potatoes. So at some point I had to try and go to the gas station to go get ice, a couple of bags of ice to salvage my food, because the freezer was defrosting, hundreds of dollars worth of things about to go to waste. And finally, it's now about the day of the fires, about 4 o'clock in the afternoon, 3 o'clock in the afternoon. And I go outside and I just was not ready to see what I seen. It was just a complete dismay and chaos. I mean, it's I didn't know what I was looking at. I had to pinch myself, whoa, is this really 20 cops in a row? I'm looking from a bird's eye view. I'm up we're set up on a hill above the aquatic center, and I'm looking down at the highway coming into Lahaina, and pretty much the gates of Lahaina, and there's just a row of cops, which caught me off guard. And then, still oblivious to what's really happening, I know it was windy as hell. It was crazy weather, which I attributed to the power going out. And yeah, I guess that's when it all kind of reality hit. Whoa, there's major inclement weather, apparently. But that's when I noticed to my right, I see a big line of fire, basically, and It was heading in our direction, coming like from the Mauka, from the mountainside, just heading directly for us, it seemed. But the winds would shift. So it was just like super unpredictable, and there's flames and they're coming towards us. Now, I was like, wow, this is kind of crazy. Like, what the hell? Like, my groceries are screwed. Like, I was really kind of bummed out about that. Oh, well, not really, because it's just like, I guess the reality of it never hit yet, because I was still like a good, I would say, 1.5 miles, 2 miles away from the actual flames. But the amount of smoke and just the amount of traffic, what I could make out, what I could see with my eyes, because of the thick smoke and just the congestion of traffic in the area where I was at, it just like, whoa, this is real, and this is not going away easy. It's not like a drill or a quick call the fire department, they put it out, and everyone's safe except for the parakeet, something. No, it was real. And anyhow, we never thought that we would have to evacuate, because we felt like we're at like one of the last I guess buildings, complexes to kind of like be evacuated, I would say, because of our location. We're in like the very, very beginning, like right when you get greeted by like the welcome to Lahaina, historic Lahaina signs. There's an aquatic center to your right and the park. And so yeah, we're like the first you see when you get actually into Lahaina town. And because the direction it all came from, which was where we're at now, and it headed that way, and well, that's where we used to live, on that side. So I could see it coming, and my neighbor is telling me, yeah, see that big road up there, that dirt line, that's a fire break road. They make those things so when things like this happen, the flames can't jump it. So that was, I was like, you think so? You think so? She's like, yeah, we're fine. It's not gonna reach us. That's like, he's all, talking out the side of his neck about how, we're gonna be fine and whatever. We had no idea of like what really truly went on, and like, the devastation that it had already consumed because of our location, where we're at, and our line of sight. Keep in mind, no phones, nothing really to get updated or to even be like announced. There's no alarms. I don't remember any type of like tsunami, at least like ring the tsunami alert system, which they test every month on the first of the month, and it's pretty effective. It's loud, but that did not go off, if I can recall. So hell, if I wouldn't have known any better, which a lot of people didn't, I would think that there's just something major unfortunately happened to the town a ways away from me. Thank God it wasn't me, and we'll live to see another day. As we're like in disbelief, kind of, me and my girlfriend, like, okay, this is really happening. There's a fire, and then we're getting little like word of mouth updates here and there from our neighbors saying, oh yeah, so and so is closed, you cannot leave. the roads is closed and you can't even drive. There's too much traffic. Everybody's evacuating. The whole town is burning, is what we're told. And then that's when we were like, whoa, like life as we know it, like our everyday life is like ashes, burning as we speak. So a lot went through my head, of course, and I was able to not panic, kind of just like compartmentalize this severity of it and like the emotional, part of it, and kick into, okay, competent, like cognitive, what realistically, like we gotta get going, we gotta get moving, because this is not stopping. Obviously the winds are raging, getting stronger and stronger to like hurricane strengths. And yeah, that's when we see that one of the directors from the housing we were at knocking on doors, pounding on doors. Anybody in there? Evacuate now. So we heard that, and then luckily we our neighbor had an extra roll, like a cart, collapsible cart, for groceries or whatever, maybe about the size of this little slab here, thinner, with a handle. We can pull it. So I told my girl, who was the complete opposite of how I was, she was now like, anxietical, like she couldn't think straight, she didn't know what to do, she was like frozen in just pure emotion. She's very empathic, so she, it was like a overload of the senses for her, so to say. So even more so, I had to step up and be like, babe, take a deep breath. This is happening. You want to put in this cart, take what you need, documents, our papers, our important paperwork, like anything you can think of that we're gonna need, pack it. What you don't need, what we can live without, we gotta say goodbye to it, because that's just how you can't, and oh man, that was also another close call, because of course me and her like trying to be quick about loading up our cart and getting out of Dodge, but we, there's just so many sentimental things and like not enough time. So it was, we had way too much belongings, way too much things that we cherished that we had to completely neglect and say bye to, which does a toll for on people mentally. So we took off on foot. We did not have a working vehicle at the time, so we're told to evacuate, leave everything and leave, is what they're telling us. We gotta leave right now. There's no time. And I'm looking back at the flames, and now they're like maybe a football field away. Keep in mind the winds are retardedly, like insanely fast. Winds blowing high speed. So me, I tried to save my orange juice I just got, and some eggs. Like mostly food is what I put in my cart. 2 backpacks with what I thought I needed, cell phone chargers for what, I don't know. Just like it was real too much, like we're unprepared. It was just all like go now and this is final. So we got out of there, and that's when we started walking out of there, which was almost hard to do too, because the winds was blowing so hard. Like there's debris and there's embers, like big chunks of embers flying. you know, roof shillings from people's roofs getting blown off. It was like a hurricane fire at the same time. And my girlfriend, even like I had to like ground her and like hold her from like literally like taking, because we have bags and we're pushing the cart, and she was getting she almost went airborne a few times, where I had to like ground her and me to a chain link fence and just hold on and withstand the wind gusts, let that pass, and then find our little pockets of time to proceed to evacuate the city. Yeah, like the government wise, it seemed as if they were not even present. I guess they were. I mean, yes, blue lights everywhere, officers on foot, like trying to direct human traffic on foot, people just leaving their homes, and of course a lot of people are like trying to go back towards the fire because, you know, whatever reasons they think or they need, or they forgot things or whatever, and it was just chaos. It was chaos. The police looked, for the most part, like they were lost. Like they were lost for words. Like they had no answers for anybody. They just were just regurgitating orders that they were told to do, which was completely just, I don't know who wrote the, you know, who gave the orders to like prevent people from evacuating in certain directions. If I'm not mistaken, they were having cars, they're telling cars, no, you can't go this way, and people are trying to get out of the city any which way they can. You can get out both ways, you know, like heading north or back south, and I guess they wanted everybody to go one direction, which is kind of dumb too, because that really clogs up the traffic, like exiting. And yeah, a lot of people never, you know, the what is it called, the system, the laws, whatever, the officers, their whole force, they failed that day. Like they had no control really. I mean, people were just like whatever, just driving around the cops. The cops couldn't stop nobody. They're just really shouting and trying to yell and get angry, and like, but like for what? You know, you could feel the heat coming now. Now it's like this wall of fire is so huge that miles away, like a mile or two away from it, you could feel the heat from it. That's how hot it was. After this happened, we were on foot. Yeah, we went. We've had our little pull cart, which a lot of families had. Like, you know, they used to use shopping carts, pull carts, trailers, like you name it. I went to go try and get my moped from a friend's house. So I kind of, you know, went against the grain and like went around the cops and was heading to my friend's house to make sure that they're like, you know, evacuated alive, and maybe I can get my hands on my moped for transportation, because we have, I don't know, 20 something miles like to walk if we're trying to get out of there. Like no phone signals, everything's still dead. So it was really real frightening to get there, and it's ashes. Like the whole compound, the whole home is ashes, and this is on the sacred like Hawaiian lands, like where the kings and stuff used to have their royalty, like their area. So Mokuhau, if I'm not mistaken, and just a real like historical rich, culturally rich part of town on 505 Front Street that was just burning up in flames. Like when I went to get my moped, that was a scene there. So felt the heat too coming from the city, and that was crazy looking too. Like I'm looking at like towards the banyan tree, and I see that's on fire. I see cars that are like just you can see the flow of traffic was kind of like trying to leave, but just eventually jumped out of their vehicles and left it there, and cars are just like cinched, like melted to the liquid, like rims, and that's it. Like I don't know how the fire generated such heat. Like it had to have some type of accelerant type of thing to make it hot like that. And that's another thing, they say that it was a EMP or EMW, whatever. Yeah, controlled weapon, which I believe that 100% that's what it was, because there's just way too many holes in their narrative that doesn't draw the picture for a sound wildfire. Why would they do that? Well, you know, why would they, you know, eat babies for their adrenochrome and things, you know? Like they're just they're bent, their realities are distorted, and their lives are based upon fueling a illusionary type of world, and their focus is to keep it that way, I feel. Definitely, yeah. And I think in the past, early 1900s or late 1800s, if I'm not mistaken, there were also like these huge fires that consumed whole places, and I feel that's used to, like, you know, rewrite. They can, you know, how the best way to get rid of all evidence, but to reduce it to ash. So it's disgusting. It's also a true reality of things, I believe. I mean, I was when I went to go look for my moped at that point in time, it was maybe like around this time, but I couldn't see the sun because of the clouds of smoke. Now, within the smoke, the cloud smoke, now at this point, like, I mean, we could hear explosions, gas stations are blowing up, vehicles are blowing up, cars with electronic vehicles are blowing up, everything with batteries. It was that was sketchy. It was super scary. It sounded like a war zone. But I swear to my girlfriend next to me, I'm like, babe, look at that. I point up at the smoke clouds, and I shit you not, it looked like a strobe light was going off. And apparently all the electricity was turned off for hours and hours. It wasn't a police light, like from their, you know, police vehicle lights that strobe or whatever. It was different. It was real, like the intervals of the strobe was like real quick, like I don't know how to react, but it was, I believe that was something to do with that laser attack, because once again, the color spectrums that the lasers can burn, apparently light blue or blue was unaffected by this laser, but anything else, any other color, will burn with extreme heat to the point of ash, nothing. So when we look back at the footage, I mean, I'm sure you've seen it too. You see all these blue homes, blue coolers, blue gas cans, completely fine blue vehicles. Right next to it, another color vehicle, burnt to twisted metal, but that blue vehicle still there, looking like mint condition. Like, it was just wild. Like, how do you explain that? So today, this is the our current situation after, you know, living this nightmare, and which I could go on and on about, like, the whole details of the rest of that evening and like to the next day, because it wasn't just a quick thing. Like, it was like a pilgrimage, like thousands or hundreds of people on foot, bikes, cars, whatever they could, and whatever belongings they could muster up on foot, whatever, and just like being pretty much herded by the police, until they felt like it was getting dangerously close again. Like, then they would, you know, evacuate everybody from like the beaches going down, like Lanio-Poco. We went to Lanio-Poco first. We pretty much went to Shark Pit first until we got evacuated. Lanio-Poco, they said the fire's still coming. This is like, I started like midnight. The fire's still coming. You guys gotta keep moving. And we're like, you're drained, tired, like uncertain what's going on. Our phones are still dead from the day before. No communication, and yeah, that was hard. Pretty much pushed down on foot all the way to Oluwalu throughout the whole evening into the next day, to the next morning. And yeah, it sucked, but they got us. It didn't take too long until, you know, FEMA kicked in, type of shit. And if you want to know about that aspect of things, I mean, I'm not a big fan of FEMA for their lack of like true compassion. I feel like, yeah, some of their employees are in it for the right reasons, and like majority of them are just not from here, you know, no aloha spirit. They just by the book, freaking like brainwash type, systematic government workers. Like, they try to say that we didn't qualify for any housing assistance or any type of benefits because our location apparently was deemed habitable, or whoever came in overnight and did their little assessments of like, well, where's a burn location and what isn't, said that our place was fine to go back to, when in fact it was nothing but ash. We lost everything, and we had to, so we didn't get any assistance for a good minute. We had to like really like do all these appealings, and like it was just, it wasn't compassionate. They didn't have understanding. Like, we had to pretty much like prove to them 1,001 ways on how and why we deserve their help, which was kind of disgusting. Like, they did provide, I guess Biden gave everybody $700 cash, direct deposit, whatever. That was the first kind of movement. Like, that was like a couple weeks after it happened. And then shortly after that, like a lot of other nonprofits and stuff like kicked in, like Catholic Charities, which are awesome, and a lot of like the Maui Now movement type, Lahaina Strong. a lot of people stepped up to the plate and on the local level, and to me that's where a lot of like the healing could start beginning, you know. But the government faction side of it is just, I don't know, they're frustrating. But they got us over here now. Well, we were moved, we were like tossed around a bunch of different locations. We had to pack and move, and they moved us to another place in Kahului, Harbor Lights. There's a fire above the apartment above ours, burnt up in flames, and it was like traumatized. Like we just went through a big ordeal, and we're placed in like a more of a impoverished type of setting, opposed to like some of the other locations and homes that people received, which I hear were like, you know, resort style living. Well, we were in Kahului, right across the harbor. Kahului, Harbor Lights condominiums, which is a lot of like crime and poverty over there. Well, they moved us out of there because the FEMA workers who came and checked in on us once a month deemed it unsafe for themselves. It wasn't safe for them to come on that property to conduct their monthly checkups, which is a joke, but it's okay for us to live there. And apparently it was because of infestation of cockroaches in one of the units or something. But yeah, they had us up in there, which was kind of crappy, as opposed to like, you know, other locations that people got to live at, whatever. I feel like it partially was due to the fact that we were staying at the shelters in Lahaina, but we were a step above just the homeless shelter. We had our own apartment. We were working. So we were providing monthly subsidized rent. We weren't living free. So that's another thing they made it difficult for us to receive this housing assistance or any type of assistance, was because, oh, you're homeless before you're homeless before the fires, so we, you know, you're shit out of luck. We can't help you. You're at the shelter. That's where we have to come in and like chop it down for them and say, look, okay, there's a shelter, there's a, like, you know, the homeless shelter dormitory for men and women. Then you have families who have, you know, children and jobs, have apartments which they're to pay rent, subsidized rent for, and even went a step further to just another, like a lower income apartment style, but they're nice apartments above the shelter, which is the dorms. It was all connected together. So because we lived at the apartments there, they just tried to, like, you know, wrap us up in the, oh, you're a homeless shelter people, so, you know, figure it out. But we fought that, and luckily we overcame that, because if not, we would be, I don't know where we'd be, probably homeless someplace, because yeah, we were just getting out of that cycle of life we went through. We were finally doing good, you know. We had a Section 8 voucher to find a home. We qualified for that through the housing program that we were in. You know, we were doing everything right. We got employment. We kept up with all our due diligence, and we earned a voucher, but it was just near impossible to find a place to rent to us through the HUD. It's hard to find HUD housing here. So we got the voucher for the HUD housing, but it pretty much went voided because of the time. You gotta get it in certain time, and there's just absolutely no available HUD housings. But which it kind of worked out because like this was all happening in real time. Like we had just got our voucher, we were looking desperately for a place, and we were about to get it. Like we have to file for an extension to try and keep finding a home and to use our voucher. But then the fires happened, and you know, it was kind of like everybody was getting some type of shelter taken care of for them due to the fire. So yeah, we kind of went with that route. That's how we ended here. They got everybody who was from the fires at Harbor Lights. They removed them, gave them an option to either relocate here or I guess whatever else options that people had. But for us, it was pretty much here, or we can say goodbye to the program if we don't like it. So after we finally getting, like, you know, adjusted to life living in Kahului, and, you know, doctor's appointments and just everything, like finally feeling like synchronized as far as that goes, it's like, you know, they slam the brakes and you guys got to this weekend to figure out if you want to move to these tiny homes or, you know, try and make it out without our assistance. So we just got here in like January, I think. Honestly, we don't have enough money saved up yet to you know, to live in Hawaii, at least to pay rent and stay here. So yes, we have rent here. They were trying to charge everybody like, I think $1,300 a month, and which is kind of steep, I felt, for these container homes. I mean, it comes with, there's no laundry service around here, so we can't do our laundry on site here. We gotta find means, you know, go in different towns to do laundry. And there's no mail service here. We cannot receive packages or mail here. I guess that's how temporary their sites are as far as this place goes. They really want people to, like, hurry. They're pushing us, like, are you actively looking for other homes? And, you know, like, they want, it's like we're told that they want everybody out of here as soon as possible. This is a bi-monthly living situation. So we all appealed that $1,300 bogus rent request, as opposed to, like, the last home that they had us in, everything was, all expenses were paid for by FEMA, which was cool. But it's like, now, okay, they're gonna take us out of that living situation and put us into this one, which is a lot, you know, smaller, a lot further away from everything that we're now accustomed to, and charge us money we don't have. So I guess now, right now, the moment, the rent is $50 a month, which is a lot more doable for the locals here. And as you can see, if you guys look down, all the vehicles parked in front of the homes, like, this looks like a neighborhood. Like, I don't know. I don't understand why they won't let it be, like, certified for postal service, and just keep these homes here already, you know? Like, And when people move on or whatever, rent them out, keep them as low, you know, affordable homes. Like, I don't understand why they're trying to get us out of here so quick. I do think they're trying to, someone said a rumor was they're going to auction these places as soon as they can. Like they want to get their money back or something. I don't know. I was told there's like over $4 billion of money that was given in support of the relief of the wildfire that happened here. But it sure doesn't feel like the money is going to the proper channels. I don't understand it, because yeah, $4 billion is a lot. Like, they shouldn't be stressing about you know, $50 a month and like getting people out of here as soon as they get here. It's like, I'm pretty sure a lot of people here are like fixing to stay here until their homes are either rebuilt completely and entirely, or I don't know, or some kind of other breakthrough happens with the FEMA program. But yeah, that's what I got to say about this place. Other than that, it's alright. We're in paradise, can't complain, you know. We got a killer view. Yeah, just blessed to be alive. Yeah, thank you.